Hey YouTube, I just wanted to make a quick video on how to install one of those tilt drawer shelves. This one is actually made by Rev-A-Shelf, and the kit actually comes with two of these trays that go on the inside, and basically on the opposite side it would tilt out like so. So that way you have another area of storage with these false drawers. The first part is to remove this piece off, and I was able to do that here. I'm sure everybody in America, or most people's bottom sink look like this, but I was able to take this off, and it was held in by a lot of staples, and there was a bracket. There was two on the bottom, one on the top, and the other one has it too. Let's see if you can see up here. You can see one bracket there, and then there's two lower ones, and it's hard to pull off. I mean, you can't pry this off with your hands. Like, it is on there. I tried, so what I had to do is loosen the top and then go underneath with a small pry bar to not mess up the wood. It still looks good, and to remove the other one. So I'm going to try to remove this one, and I'll be back. Alright, I was able to rip this one off, and you can see the bracket on there. I mean, it is on there, stapled. So I'll have to remove these staples by hand, not a problem. And I try to be careful because some of the wood on the edge came off. I don't know if you can see it, but it shouldn't hurt anything because this is going to be all covered. I might have to retouch it with some paint, make sure it looks fine. Now, I think there's a couple ways that you can remove these if you don't know how to remove staples. I mean, it should be fairly straightforward, but for those who are new, I guess, you know, you could try to remove it with some pliers. Just get a grip underneath it, and then if you roll the pliers, it'll eventually come out, and then you might have to roll the opposite way to get the other side. The other method is using a screwdriver or something flat that can go underneath it and pop it out. And also I have these little hooks that can easily slide if there's enough space, and then you can pop those out. Whatever you choose should work. I like the pliers because I have a good grip, and I can just roll. Just twist it, okay, right out. So let me get these off, and then we're going to start installing this and the hinges. Alright, so I was able to remove the second one, kind of wipe down the inside from all the dirt and debris that might have been collecting over the years. And the first step was to outline or draw using a pencil or whatever to mark it. I guess that's where we'll line these up. But all the instructions here, as you can see, I've already traced it. Next I have to use this little jig or this template and drill a 3/32 pilot hole at the bottom to get the hinges installed. So I'll check back in. Alright, so next I was supposed to use this template to mark holes, and there was one part in the instructions where I didn't really understand how it was supposed to work, and it was supposed to line up these trays and their holes, so I kind of skipped it, and I hope that it still aligns correctly. It was this part right here, step number 5, for the tray. But anyways, I jumped ahead because I can I just eyed this. It's not that big of a deal. And I got my pilot, or not my pilot holes, but my marks here so I can drill. And right now I'm installing on part 8, which is the hinges. So I'll get the hinges installed on both sides, and then I'll probably end up putting this on afterwards, and then attach the hinges to the frame. The instructions say you need pilot holes to make it easier, but I don't think that's the case when you have the right screws. Anyways. Oops. Fail. Let's try that again. Oh shit. Cool. One thing I did notice though is that screw, for whatever reason, caused a crack in my drawer front. So I'm gonna have to get something to fill it. That sucks, but it's okay. Not the end of the world, right? So, first lesson for you guys that are installing this. I was following the instructions here, and it says to put this to the bottom right of the sink front panel, this template, so you can line up the holes for this, right? See here? I did that. I put it in the bottom right, put it side by side, or sorry, like this. Bottom right, got those holes. But when I went to install it, or test fit it, what I noticed is that it doesn't work. It's off. So what I think they need to do is actually, on the instructions, is to say that you want to align it with the bottom right and left corners of where your lines are drawn. That doesn't say it in the instructions. Oh, maybe it does. Using the pencil mark your hole locations and repeat for the left side. Well, either I got confused reading this or it's not very clear. So here's the other one I did. You can see there's the difference. It lines up, and I'm just going to do a test fit really quick. And yep, it goes in. So now I'm going to screw these in and then adjust the other ones. Alright team, so an update. I told you I got this one installed. That's how it works. It's actually really nice. You gotta open it at a certain angle for it to come out. You gotta pull out and then tilt. The problem I have is that this is actually crooked. I don't know if you can tell, but if you look up, you can kind of see slightly off, and that's because of where these brackets are mounted. So make sure that your corners are straight across, because I guess when I did the outline with the pencil, because I was coming from an angle, it threw those off. So on the second set, or the next set, I measured it and it's going in. But the challenge I came into is that the screw that I was attaching it to, can you see that? On this side, broke off. It just sheared. So I'm pissed, as you can tell, and I've been spending way too much time putting this shit in. If I did it all over again, would I do it? Probably not. I would find something I could just screw in the side and add. But I guess I'll continue to try to fix it. Alright, I finally got it. It took me more than 30 minutes as the instructions said it takes. And that's probably for somebody that's done this quite a few times. But I'd only imagine somebody doing it maybe in the kitchen and possibly a bathroom. But this one is lined much better. I just need to touch it up with paint and clean up the front. This one is not aligned as well. You can see the spacing here and here. It's not straight across. But when you're looking at it from above an angle after I paint it, I doubt that someone's going to be able to tell. And the cool thing is that these have drawers in there. This one's kind of stuck because the screws that were given I ran out of, so I had to use something I had left over in the toolbox. 2 of them, the heads broke off into the frame, so of course I was really pissed. And then I just got some sheet metal screws and some other better ones that I had in the toolbox and lodged them in. And so this one sticks in the corner, but this one's actually installed technically better than this one. It's just not smooth like the other one. So I'm going to play around with the hinge mechanism in here to see if I can adjust it and get it to not stick. But yeah, so you grab, you pull out a little bit and then tilt out. See how this one's just better? It's just crooked. Alright, well, you saw the frustrations and headaches that I had, and I hope you don't make the same mistakes. Cheers.